Hello everybody, my name is Anthony. Welcome back to what is, I'm almost certain is going to be the final episode here of Kalterkrieg, Canada. Because we're really just finishing up our tree. You know, we have a handful of focuses left in the liberal tree, we got a handful of focuses left in the economic tree, and really, I don't think there's any other major conflicts we're actually really going to be getting involved in, so... You know, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been supporting the Kalterkrieg content. Tomorrow, we're basically just almost starting with the outro here, just to kind of explain what's going to be happening. Tomorrow, almost certainly, is going to be the beginning of the New Order Mexico, which is the recent patch for that, if you want to tune in for that. I almost feel like this episode kind of can be skipped over. But, you know, if you want to, be here, listen to me ramble a little bit about things that probably don't matter, you're in the right place. You're looking for a little bit of time killer. Listen, you know what this episode... Our final dedication for the series. This episode is going to be dedicated to everybody who's using this video right now fall asleep to. Which I'm sure there's somebody out there. You know, I don't know who you are exactly, but I'm almost certain some people here do use my content to fall asleep to. Which, I mean, it's nice. It allows the videos just to autoplay, and that gives me more ad revenue. So I appreciate that to a great extent. But we are now currently finishing up our federal support for universities. Going to give us a research boogie towards electronics, some extra, just 4% research speed, construction speed, stability. All a bunch of very, very nice things for us to have. We're not training any troops. That's technically true, but again, I'm minus everything. I have not recovered from the American War. And honestly, I don't know if there'll ever be a point where I will recover from said war. Like, it was absolutely devastating to the Canadian economy. Like, it was really, 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 really bad. But that's okay. You know, sometimes Burma has shifted towards the Accord. See, look, you lose some money, you lose 500,000 Canadians, but you get some Burma. Now, Burma is a puppet of India, which is kind of like a little bit funny because Burma, they've joined the Accord even though they're a protectorate. India's not in the Accord. They're still, I think, I mean, right now they got the INC, right? They're still trying to kind of figure out their position in the world. Because I'm pretty sure the Republic of India is the continuation of the Bharati Commune in this timeline. It's not the Princely Federation, even though it does share the same color. You know, Mechanized 3, 100% research bonus. Sounds good there. And let's do, because we don't need this. And we don't need this in order to get our way down to a mature Canada. But across the quickly industrializing Canadian landscape, one can find a recent surge in levels of white-collar workers. Performing administration tasks, generally from their work desk, an increase in their number also implies an increase to the average standard of living for our citizens. Furthermore, they can be put to government's use directly or indirectly, staffing our bureaus and increasing the efficiency of regions under development. Excellent. Get more white-collar workers in here. We love to see it. Now, we are technically still in the lead by a 6-point margin, which, I mean, isn't very great. Argentina, general has resigned. Because right now, we got international spending at 50, military spending is going up. There's a slight chance. No, I mean, I think the series will end, unfortunately, with Germany having a slight lead. But honestly, not by too much. Probably at most 10 points in their favor. But that's because, again, you know, some things just unfortunately didn't really count. So us winning America didn't count. But again, we did lose Brazil and... Oh, what was the other place we lost? It was Brazil and the French Republic collapsing, right. Which almost certainly would have counted against us. So it all kind of comes out in the wash in the end. That, you know, in the end, we're fairly tied. And you know what? Is that good for international relations? Maybe. Maybe that's good. It also might be bad, depending on how you want to look at it. Barcholand has shifted more towards the Accord as well. Happy to see them. I guess they're in the Commonwealth, huh? We didn't sign... Are we in the Commonwealth? I mean, we should be. We are. Is that a thing that the UK did? It is. Also, I'm kind of surprised the UK even still has any focuses left. I'm just surprised. I thought they didn't have that much content to go all the way to 55. The Commonwealth Industrious Association. With the announcement of the Commonwealth, those in the IEDC today have learned that... okay, let me rephrase that again. With the announcement of the Commonwealth, those at the IEDC today learned that they were now members instead of the Commonwealth Industries Association, or the CIA. This restructuring of the idea and its new headquarters with the Commonwealth Institute in Marlborough will allow for members of the Commonwealth to meet and fairly trade technology, share information pertaining to trade, and to coordinate economic strategy to remove wastefulness and increase efficiencies. The CIA will also be able to levy Commonwealth countries' leadership on materials, on matters such as customs and economic preferences. Okay. We'll not say no to that. This is the death of the Prime Minister of France. I mean, it still shows conservative. That's fine. I mean, actually, again, even like southern France still having some focuses, I'm surprised by. I didn't think they had that much content. Like, I don't know if North France has anything. And again, I do want to play more Kalterkrieg going into the future. I think I've had a lot of fun with this mod. I have a lot of like a lot of the Cold War mods. I have a fun time with. You know, this, the New Order, obviously. I've been enjoying a little bit of the 1000 Week Reich that we played as well. It's India, which I do need to record more of that. I'm going to record more of that after this video is done, because I have been fairly busy this last weekend, so I haven't actually had time to really make any content, which is why Red Flood has been delayed by quite a bit, as well as a few days missed for 1000 Weeks Reich, and I do apologize for that. That wasn't really my intention. Okay, expand mining operations in the Yukon. Is there anything else we can do? Venezuelan oil is never going to happen because New England technically doesn't exist. The formation of the UDELPA. At the end of the Great South American War, left question unanswered of the government of President Arabaru, as it became increasingly clear that the joint military civilian national junta of the political coordination could not last forever. To answer this, Aramburu has resigned from the military in full and founded the right-wing conservative Union of Argentinian Peoples, in addition to calling the first democratic elections in Argentina since 1932. Combining Revolution Libertaria as a power base in the army, civil servants, bureaucrats, and right-wing political organizations, the UDELPA claims to represent the middle class and military interests in Argentina, and remains opposed to radicalism and socialism. With the war won, the UDELPA enjoys political support from all corners of Argentina's establishment, and facing little in the way of organized opposition. Okay, so you have basically stopped being a military dictator and have gone down just to being like a regular dictator. Which, I mean, I guess is progress? Muscat and Oman have joined in towards the Accord. Is that because they are a Commonwealth nation? It is. Who else is Commonwealth? I'm trying to think, because this is based on... I mean, Iraq could theoretically join. India, I think, theoretically could, but I highly doubt that they will. They don't like us very much. Okay, so next up, let us do finishing the mega projects. Former administrations have tried to invest government spending into mega projects, such as dam and bridges, to create big and imposing structures. While they may see these as a rather foolish waste, we've nonetheless inherited several white elephants from the government preceding us, and our cancellation would be viewed as a sign of inefficiency. Unfortunately, I don't know if you know this currently, Louis Saint Laurent, we've been in power for 20 years. So any of those projects that are not finished are entirely our fault. You know, like that's on us. Okay, quarterly growth, we're now at 0. Again, the problem with quarterly growth is that that's going to increase Germany's power, because Germany is just richer than Canada. Like, it just is what it is. I mean, again, we have the United States on side now, you know, which is nice. Military youth, unify the nation. So, I mean, having America on side is a big boon to the power of the Accord. How many factories they have? I mean, they already have more factories than we do. And they've been in a constant state of warfare for the last, like, 20 years. Nigeria shift towards the Accord. We'll probably see, like, a handful of African countries shift as well, as more and more of them start to align themselves with the Commonwealth of Nations, which I'll be happy to see, for sure. Combat unit destruction. Let's get this guy going. And for our research, you're all very, very ahead of time. I guess go with like Marine 3 could potentially be useful in the future. And our mechanized, we can throw those bad boys up to level 3 as well. What are we not making? We are not producing close air supports. Really? I only have 33 military factories. That is so bad. By the way, I'm wondering, would speed 4 be faster? No. It's not faster. Okay. So we want to get some strikecraft in here. That should count for our close air support, right? No. It's actually considered something different. We already have CV, wartime CV, strike aircraft, because I'm pretty sure you're close air support. So I think this is going off like a different number, which I don't really care about too much. Are we selling? What are we actually selling right now? Tactical bombers? I mean, we could... Okay, now, yeah, we can see now it's starting to swing in Germany's favor. There's really nothing we can do about that. Like, at this point, like, what could we do? Like, their economic power is just going to go higher and higher. Military spending right now is at 25. That might be capped. Because, you know, some of these do have caps on them. I'm assuming economic power probably caps at 50 as well. But yeah, Chinese Civil War, collapse of Middle Africa, Angolan independence. This came out to 0. So yeah, it's basically just neutral, which is fine. Next up, what do we want to do? Let's serve Quebec business need. The Quebecois must be brought into the fold of a united and proud Canada. The best method of achieving this is through the economically strong Quebec. While earlier industrial efforts were dispersed across the nation, this new wave has to be concentrated on key cities, particularly those with francophones. Both citizens and business owners alike will be gratified by this program, and already we've received inquiries from several prominent industrialists with interest in the region. Some analysts suggest that Quebec ought to simply be left on its own devices, granted autonomy in its businesses, so that they can realize all that we can do for them. How can anyone say Quebec is not Canadian? No matter how estranged they may have been, every part of Canada will be stronger together. Hawaiian Revolution imminent. You know what? Let the Hawaiian Revolution happen. Maybe we can directly military intervene as well. And maybe it'll be like America, Canada, and Japan all declare war on the revolutionary government. And that maybe allows us to kind of snaggle our way into taking the islands. By the way, when's our election? 57? Okay, we're definitely not going to get there. And it's again, there's not like there's an actual focus tree at that point. Actually, I'm wondering, I guess technically, because it only matters that the election is concluded. So I wonder that if you became Social Democrat, if this would automatically complete. Same with the Conservatives and same with the Unionist. I'm honestly not too sure. I mean, that'd be interesting to find out. But again, that's like 2 years from now, and we have 325 political powers. Is there anything we want to do? You know what? If we increase military spending, how would that affect this? Oh, no, it's actually not capped at 20. You know what? Let's increase military spending. Because why not? Free trade is still good. Public university. I think we can't change any of these. You're all fine. Yeah, I mean, we just have political power we can't spend. You know, actually, you know what we can't spend them on? We can spend them on... Arsoland? No, why would they have the Montgomery plan? We might as well just spend it. Oh, we can only do one at a time? Okay. We might as well get these going. I don't see really a reason to not do it, given the circumstance that we currently find ourselves in. Don't need to worry about you. So hopefully this will just at least make this grow slower, because we're spending more money on our military. Military spending includes military spending measures which faction, including countries with defensive ties, is spending more on their military. If one faction is spending more, they will gain influence as long as it's true. To gain influence in the factory, increase your military spending by developing more forces or expanding the defensive ties of your alliance. Wait, so does this actually already count everybody? Okay, scandal in the West. Economic power measures which faction, including countries with economic ties, has more productivity economic block. More factories and higher construction speed. Okay, so I guess I've read this wrong the entire time. This is not purely Germany. This is everybody that has economic ties. Unfortunately, the United States doesn't count. They're not actually in the accord. They don't actually have the modifier. And I don't know if there's a way that I can force it onto them. Because only Ceylon actually has economic ties. Well, I mean, I guess everyone else is actually in the faction also has it, but... Like, if we had America on side, I think that would sort of swish this a little bit more. What about international standing? International standing measures which faction, including countries' defensive ties, can project the most power on the world stage, more factions and divisions. When one faction projects more power, they will get influence as long as it's true. So this is about division count. Oh, so this is international standing. I think I've heard this as being spending the entire time as well. And then nuclear dominance, which, I mean, we have. Actually, I guess at the end of this video, we're going to check on Germany and see, did they, like, literally never build a bomb? Like, yeah, that's kind of crazy if that's true. If they never actually built a nuclear weapon. I don't know why they wouldn't. Sure, let's just get all this stuff going. So Hawaii, Hawaii, Hawaii. It's not you, it's not you. Don't worry about you right now. Don't worry about you. Don't worry about you. Hawaiian mandate. So what does this need to do? Needs 45% stability. Right now they're at 43%. So what actually happens here? The revolution will begin in 10 days. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Oh, so we're probably not. We're probably maybe just will like auto-complete these folks in the south, in the bottom. Working with a defense multiplex. No matter how odious we may occasionally find them, the defense multiplex, as it's commonly called, is vital for our military industry. If our administration is to effectively mobilize to any potential war effort it might be called for, a firm set of agreements in the multiplex is absolutely necessary. Okay. This is going to give us a handful of military factories. 2. I mean, it's not outstanding, but we will definitely take it. Ballistic missiles. Let's go for the SAM missiles as well. Gonna make our AA guns better, which is not that crazy. Not really even that good, actually, but rocket sites. Can we not build them in our, we cannot build in foreign territory? Can we build AA guns in foreign territory? Air bases, factories. Okay, so next we can't build anything in, even in our allies' territory, which I think is different. I don't think that was true. I think that's not true in the base game anymore, right? Okay, Hawaii has joined the coastal prosperity sphere. Was it a revolution to join the Japanese? I mean, I guess so. We still got the interim party here as well. Okay. Well, they've joined up with Japan, which doesn't even have that much support actually either, but that's okay. And again, it's not like Japan actually has any international standing. They can't do anything. Those funny little guys over there. Like, what are they doing in Japan? Like, they're not projecting any power. Like, I think the mod will become a lot more interesting once Japan is able to project influence. You know, like the war in China. The fact that the war in China is primarily between Germany and Canada, and Japan doesn't have a say, I find that very interesting. Also, I find it very interesting, actually, as well, that, like, Hong Kong or a bunch of the German cities are not occupied by, China anymore? Or occupied by Germany and stuff? Like, I know Japan won the war against Germany down in Asia. But so I feel like the treaty cities... You know what actually maybe happened? Maybe here's my headcanon, maybe how this went down. Japan invaded German port territories, and Germany surrendered the Germany's Asia to Japan. And then China beat the Japanese and took the port cities back for themselves. That's the way I guess it makes sense. Now, why is Hong Kong not owned by Australia or Canada? I'm not too sure, because, I mean, Macau is still owned by the Portuguese. So it makes sense that Hong Kong would still be owned by some sort of British government, whether that's in the UK or from Ottawa. I'm not too sure. Aside from that, everything else looks pretty normal. Unknown focus. You guys are, you know, just hanging out, ushering in a new middle class. Disarm the countryside. Political stability removes political deadlock. More military factories here as well. Okay. They haven't even opened foreign affairs yet. Famed con will be added in the Italy rework. Diplomatic ties with the Pacific States, which again doesn't actually exist. The issue with the United States right now in the mod, and I'm not going to blame the mod makers for this right now, is that instead of merging, I don't know exactly how you would do it either. But basically, the United States tag annexes the other three. It is a completely different country as far as the game's concerned. It should be the Pacific States inherits New England and like the Great Lakes, and then they tag switch to America and they keep all the focuses. That would make more sense, because then it allows them to still interact with the Accord. It still allows them to interact with NATO. Or New England would do it. I don't know who would inherit who, necessarily. Maybe you'd have it so that New England becomes the United States tag, and then the Great Lakes in America would be like autonomous regions, kind of like how China is, where, you know, Hunan, Sichuan, even if they get unified, you know, under, let's say, the United Provinces, under Chen Jiaoming, that they're not annexed, at least not annexed right away. There's still a time when they're still kind of autonomous. That might work as well, but I don't know. Anyway, a mature Canada. At last, our administration has truly accomplished all of its goals. Canada now stands ready to face the modern age. Its citizens proud and content, its economic power refined. The rest of the world may consider their paths with uncertainty, but we will be a beacon of peaceful stability, come what may. A liberal Canada has surely been conclusively proven to be the most efficient one, and our rivals in Parliament can hardly do any more than sneer us at us as improvement after improvement is affected by government. Youthful, insolent America might have held the torch of liberty before, but the wise in matrimony Canada, who has certainly taken it up now. Excellent. Now, again, America is unified under a friendly government. And their election is not until 1959. You know what, actually, I think they may have had an election and it didn't actually proc properly, but that might just be a that might just be how the the focus works right now. And again, I don't know if like completing this focus really does anything. We get 100 political power. The liberals become even more popular. But again, funnily enough, like, we don't have a majority government. One thing I will say about the mod, at least how the way Canada works, is not at all realistic to how the Canadian political system would actually get those seats, because it's not a proportional system. The mod treats Canada like it's proportional. Absolutely, it's not. It's a first past the post system, which is why hey, quarterly growth, fantastic. Which is why the parliament looks like this. A hung parliament, like minority governments, are very, 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 very rare in Canada. Like, this is basically unheard of in Canadian politics. And the fact that we have to constantly reach across the aisle in order to get past, get legislation passed, doesn't really happen. Not too much. Like, it's happening like right now between the Liberals and the NDP, because there's a very slight minority government in the last election, but even then, it's not a coalition. It's a, oh fuck, what's it called? Shit, I should know this. I don't know why it's on the tip of my tongue. Supply and demand, supply and confidence agreement, something like that. Or basically the NDP is like, we won't vote in no confidence against Trudeau. But it's not a coalition. It's a different thing than a coalition. Anyways, I think, you know, in just a few days, we'll basically ready to go right now. Like, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. But I want this focus to at least finish, and then we'll maybe like auto complete the. Is there any events? I guess I should check that, so that we can maybe read those. Oh, a bunch of free oil would be nice. Banned oil, Alberta bloom, new highways. I mean, you get a lot of political power, you get a lot of stability, but no event, as far as I can tell, in here that we would maybe want to. Actually, can I just look up the word event? Hey, you can. Okay, cool. So yeah, there's no more events for us to actually look at. There's only one. Is there really only one event for this entire liberal tree? I guess so. Who has the most events here? You have one for Canada. You have two if you play the Conservatives. You only have one if you play the. You can actually not get any if you play the NDP or the CCF originally. But I will say with that, in the dot of 1956, 13 points for Germany. I mean, guys, it's one of those things, like, we really can't do anything. Oh, wait, before we do this, tag Germany. Did they build any nukes? No. They did not build a single nuclear weapon. Did they ever even try? They have no factories? What the fuck's going on in Germany? They have 51% of consumer goods. Mittelafrika lost. The Deutsch Wetter project. My goodness. Holy, military spending's, I mean, it's pretty high. They have, what, 421 factories? Having 51% consumer goods is fucking crazy. Holy, man. Like, how? Building a newer Stadt. How come they still have this? I guess they never did, everything here. Current support for the reforms 108. Did they get, not like ban it? I'm trying to think, because we couldn't do that anymore. Oh, you know why? Is it because civilian factory use of 2? Political power gain minus 0.3. I'm trying to like think why Germany is like so far behind. I don't really know. That's kind of crazy. You know, actually, before we also end, let's look at the alignments here. And you know, actually, to make this a little bit clearer, we're going to just tag back as Canada, just so we have less nonsense on the side of the screen. And we're just going to force everybody into the faction that they are aligned with, if they're not already in the faction, just so we can get a clearer picture. Actually, this actually going to be a pretty long episode because we're doing a little bit of let's shift R. So you're aligned, you're aligned, you're aligned. You're aligned. You're aligned. Again, we're trying to get everybody who's aligned, but not actually in the faction. So I think this is everyone. You know, Norway's not in the faction, so we can tag them as well. And I think that is it. So then we can go over here. Diplomacy. No, add the faction. And then we can do the opposite here. So everyone who is more aligned with the Reichspakt, but not actually in the Reichspakt. Get you, get you, get you. Ethiopia. I think you're not in the faction either, so we'll take all of those guys. Ireland, Brazil, Paraguay. And Paraguay will join the faction automatically because of Germany. Are you in the, yeah, you're in the Reichspakt. So then if I add the faction, that should give us a little bit more of a clearer picture. Yeah, so yeah, we have the Accord. Japan has their allies. So again, I don't think we did, I was gonna say we didn't do too bad. I mean, we have America, which is definitely a boon for us. Where the hell are you? African People's Union? Okay, sure. But definitely the Reichspakt is a stronger faction. Are you aligned? You're not aligned. But yeah, having like Brazil, Argentina, decent chunk of Africa, Danubia. I mean, really, our only saving grace is America. But this episode has gone on for way longer than I was expecting. So I think this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So if you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up. Tune in tomorrow when we should be starting the new Ordered Mexico. So yeah, I hope to see you then. Have a good day and goodbye.